I was so emotional person. So I was crying, like everything. But after the volunteering, it's so changed. I'm not an emotional person anymore. I don't know, because of the volunteering, because of my another things in my life, but I can say that I am becoming the more strong person, because you so many story and you understand the world. This is not a big problem. Your problem is not a big problem. So this makes me more stronger, I guess.
A warm welcome, dear Dovies, to another Dove episode, the Diary of Volunteers on Earth, Hitchhiking Edition. It's been a while since the last episode, I have to admit. Unfortunately, some things just didn't go as planned. More on that later. This week, or in fact, yesterday, I was able to record another episode, and I'm very happy to say that it was my first episode with a fellow couch surfer. To be more specific, with my couchsurfing host here in Van, in eastern Turkey, Melike. More on the podcast later, but let me start with some housekeeping and especially thanking our sponsors, or my sponsors, for the Dove podcast on the road, Hitchhiking Edition, and that is the insurance company Dr. Walter. And Dr. Walter is the insurance company that I went with because I feel like they have a very broad coverage of things that might happen. Fingers crossed and knock on wood, so far I've been very lucky and nothing major has happened. Not even anything minor, really. But there were some situations where I was really glad to know that I have insurance in case something happens. Hiking down a valley in Cappadocia at night by yourself when it was raining the days before and, things are muddy and slippery, for example. So if you are an adventurer like me, if you are a backpacker, if you are a volunteer, if you are an au pair, please check out Dr. Walter, because they have insurances tailored exactly to your needs, basically. They have the Pro Trip and Pro Trip World insurances. I will put the link into the show notes, so make sure to check that out after listening to the episode. Some other things. Last week, there was no podcast episode on Dove because for the first time ever, I was actually the guest on a different podcast. It is in German. It is called Mit Milch und Zucker. And again, I'm very, very thankful and grateful for the invitation. There were some super interesting questions that Christiane and Brenda asked me. And if you want to check that out, if you do speak German, go make sure to see their blog where they also post the podcast episodes. I think it's podcast.mitmilchundzucker.at, or you can just look for it on Spotify and listen to it there. I thought it was a really good conversation. I really enjoyed it. I hope you will too if you decide to listen to it. Yes, more housekeeping in terms of please check out ways to support me if you really like my work. I am, at the moment, this is my job, basically. So this is the only income that I have right now, which is through my Patreon site, where you can choose a tier, first, second, or third tier with different prices. It starts at €4.50, and you can get some various benefits, such as extra voting power, or if you decide to go for a higher tier, you might even get a gift or a postcard. So check that out. And also, I just set up a PayPal tip jar, I guess, if you want to call it that. So you can just digitally throw whatever in that jar on PayPal, whatever you want, one time. Do it every week. I don't really care. Well, ideally you do it every week, but then you might as well just get a Patreon subscription. So yeah, check that out in the show notes as well. And before I do too much blabbering, let me get back to the podcast with Melike. And it was a really interesting conversation. I really enjoyed it. I think you will notice that Melike and I get along really well. She is my podcast host. I'm her podcast host, and she's my couchsurfing host. Like I said, here in Van, if you don't know about the platform Couchsurfing, this is the podcast for you, because we talk a lot about it. We talk a lot about our experiences, also especially about her experiences as a female host, how it is to invite a stranger into your home. So I thought that was really interesting. But not only she volunteers on Couchsurfing, because this is all for free. I'm sitting in her living room, not paying a cent, which is basically the purpose of Couchsurfing as far as I'm concerned. But she's also volunteered in various other places. More importantly, or more specifically, Melike has volunteered in orphanages. The first time when she was 18 through an organization called AIESEC. I will also put the information in the show notes for that. And she was teaching English to orphaned children in Kyrgyzstan. She told me on the podcast that not everything was perfect about those experiences. Obviously, that's very hard, but for her it was an immense learning opportunity, and she liked it so much that she decided that she wanted to help out in orphanages in Turkey as well. So we talked about that a little bit. I really loved the conversation. I hope you guys will too. So without further ado, here is Hitchhiking Dove, the Diary of Volunteers on Earth, with Melike about couchsurfing and her AIESEC experiences. But we're going to start, I guess. We're in Melike's living room.
Yeah, welcome.
Hoş geldin.
Hoş geldiniz.
I love that sentence, actually. Yeah, thank you so much for, first of all, hosting me and for agreeing to record the podcast. Just to give everybody who's listening an idea, you and I, we're both using Couchsurfing.
Yeah.
And I just sent you a request on Couchsurfing and you accepted it, and that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, welcome again.
Thank you. And yeah, let's maybe just start off with you introducing yourself. Like, who you are, what do you do, and why. Yeah, we can get to the why later.
Okay, it's okay. My name is Melike. I'm a teacher, primary school teacher. I'm originally in Izmir, but I live in the one, which is the east of Turkey. I live 3 years in one. And after 1 year, I will change my city. I don't know. So basically, I'm interested in the volunteering. I really like to it. And in my past, I have many volunteering experiences. And it's really exchanged my life, my way to live. So, yeah,
do you want to jump right into that feeling, because we talked a little bit about it already during the last few days about the volunteering and what it has done for you. But maybe let's start with Couchsurfing first.
Yeah,
because that's the one thing that we have in common, and that's also one thing that I really wanted to bring on the podcast in at least one episode. Maybe there will be more if I can find more couch surfers who want to do a podcast episode. I don't know. But yeah, how do you, well, maybe let's start by telling people about Couchsurfing.
Yeah, okay.
How did you find out about it?
Actually, I remember that I was in the high school and I just started interested in abroad, traveling, this kind of things. And I don't know, I just read on the internet and I said that, wow, it is really nice to travel and nice to meet some new people. And I say myself that, okay, when I go to the university, I definitely use the Couchsurfing because in that high school I live in my family. So it's not common things in Turkey. But when I go to university, I immediately open the Couchsurfing pages and just waiting my first host.
Do you remember your first guest?
We still with writing each other on the internet with her. I love her. She's really good person. And maybe that's why I'm more interested in Couchsurfing after her, because at that time, even my English is really bad. And before to open my pages, I'm a little bit anxious about the language. Okay, it is true. Should I do or not? And somehow I just open it and I say myself that I'm so happy to do that. So yeah.
How old were you? So you started when you were starting university. So
I guess 18 years
19?
old. Yeah,
okay,
I was
so super early.
Old.
I started Couchsurfing when I was 22, when I was moving to the US for 1 year. And I'm just gonna tell everybody who has no idea what we're talking about, what it is really, because some people out there might have never heard about Couchsurfing. So basically, it's an internet platform that anybody can sign up with. You kind of, like on Facebook, I guess, or Instagram, you make a profile, but it's a bit more in depth. You give more information about yourself. Yeah. At least you did on your profile, because I think it's important to.
It is the main things. I think is your profile should be explained to yourself.
Exactly. And so I think nowadays you have to pay money to get verified or something like that?
It is not too much, but it's started with the coronavirus, because that times nobody used it, and probably they need some money. But it's corona is finished, but still we have to pay. But it's not expensive.
Yeah, back in the day, I remember it was completely for free, and everybody using it was like, that was also a big part of the spirit of Couchsurfing, that it is for free, that you don't, like, there's no money exchange basically in hosting or in surfing.
It was better, I guess.
Yeah, no offense to any Couchsurfing officials, if any of them are listening.
Yes, you should talk truth.
Yeah, so you can get verified, and you can get verified through your like official documents, I think, so people feel more safe, I guess.
Yeah.
You have a reference system, which you also told me is very important for you.
Yeah, my main topic, if I accepted the guest or not.
Yeah. So for you, can you describe what, other than the benefits that are just obvious, like you can stay with somebody for free, but is there something for you that's more like the spirit behind it?
Okay. Actually, I use Couchsurfing as a host. Like I just twice time be a guest and someone home, and I want to prefer to be a host, because my main topic is the accepted guest. I want to meet new people, and I want to be give my something culture, and I don't know, maybe this is Turkish cultural things, I don't know. But for example, I remember all the guests, and we have really good times with them. And when I read my references, and I always feel like happy, wow, okay, we have this person in my life. Some of them, I don't know where they now, but when I saw our photos and the references, I said that, wow, I'm so happy to meet with him or her. So basically like that.
The experience that you share everything, basically. You don't. I mean, you cook together sometimes. You have food together. You hang out.
Basically.
Yeah, you basically become.
I like it.
But this is super interesting, because I think to some people that seems like a very unusual thing, to just let a stranger from the internet into your house, into your apartment.
It looks strange.
It looks strange. And you almost, I mean, in most cases, I guess not everybody always is like that. And sometimes for sure people have negative experiences, which we might maybe talk about after. But you become friends. And
this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because you can understand that energy, and because he or she using Couchsurfing. Yeah. This is really good idea for me.
So for you, it's already the fact that they're using Couchsurfing already shows something about their personality, and that you have something in common. Is that my correct interpretation?
Actually, yes. Mainly, sometimes I need a new friends, except my around. So it is really good way to learning new things, and it improves my thoughts, you know?
Yeah.
So I always open to my home to strangers. Yeah. Yesterday I said to you, sometimes some couchsurfers stay in my home, and I was in the school or I was in the outside, and some moment I thought like that, oh my God, there's a stranger in my home, and I have a computer, I have a money, maybe she or he can be dangerous, but after just 1 minute after, I said that no, it's okay. I read the references, I read their profiles, they are totally okay, and that's it.
That's super interesting, because that's a lot of it is based on trust.
Yes.
You have to be very trustful with the other person. And I think we can safely say that that's also a big gender difference. Like for males and females, I think the couch surfing experience can be quite different. I don't know if you've ever experienced anything like that, but I've heard from other female couch surfers that, guys hit on them, or they even use it as like a dating platform. I mean, nowadays, I just looked at the profile of one of my first hosts in Philadelphia in the US, and he's been on couchsurfing for more than 10 years now. No, more than, I don't know, a long time. Okay. And he wrote, I stayed with him, super nice guy. And he wrote in the very first paragraph, no, I'm not using it as a Tinder substitute, I have a girlfriend. And I think it's super sad that you have to state that.
But somehow they should be right, because I know luckily I don't have any bad experiences, but also some of my women friends using, I'm not searching the boyfriend, please don't send me any things like that. So they have to put it, because they know there is someone want to this kind of thing.
So is there anything that you think, I mean, it's always hard to kind of talk positively about yourself, I know. But anything that you would say that's a characteristic of you that helps you to have that trust and that helps you to have that courage also to host strangers in your home as a female, as a woman? Like if there's women listening, and I know for a fact, a lot of my female friends back home, they were like, wow, we're so jealous that you're doing what you're doing. We could never hitchhike like across the whole planet, basically.
It is a really good question, actually.
And what is it that you think somebody needs, or how can you get that?
Actually, I noticed that couchsurfing make me more relaxed person. Like, because like you open your home to strangers, and after the 1 hour you have really nice memory. And maybe in the past I was a more judge person, but it's changed my mind. Okay, I don't think like everyone is bad. It can happen bad things, blah blah blah. And I just want to be relaxed. I just need to be relaxed to open myself.
Yeah,
I can say that.
Yeah. So it's helped you opening and broadening your mind, and just being a more open, more tolerant, more trustful person.
I can say that more tolerant.
And was there never a moment where you were like, fuck, I'm so fucking scared, I don't want to do this? Like in the very beginning especially?
Actually, yeah. I have maybe my first time that I stay as a guest. But maybe I was just 18 years old, and I don't have so much couchsurfing experiences, and I need to be care of myself. But I just don't want to stay. My host is the offering to, okay, you can stay in my home, which is I stay his hostel for free. He's also have a hostel. Okay. And after the night, he offered me, okay, you can stay in my home if you want. And I just say, no, thank you. And he's a little bit insists to me, okay, it's okay, I'm a good person, please don't scared of me. But I just say, okay, his hostel is better for me. Maybe he's really totally good with it, but I just care of myself. So after this, I don't have any bad experience as a guest or as a host. So you were
this is something that I've also heard from another female solo traveler who I met in Pamukkale. Shout out to Lulu if she's listening. We celebrated St. Patrick's Day in Antalya together, and she and I talked to her a lot about this as well, and she basically explained sometimes it's like, you know, Spider-Man and his spider senses. When something is wrong, and it just feels like, there's something...
You feel it.
Some kind of vibe in the air that it's a little bit...
Yeah.
And then you just...
And if you have that feelings, it is true. I always say that.
Yeah.
If you feel that a little bit, it is true. I'm not sure. There's an exception.
Yes.
But
always.
In general, for me, personally, it is true.
This is so amazing to me as a guy who has is not very good at listening to his own feelings. Like, this is just like something that I really want to learn, actually, myself, to listen more to my gut feeling and not so much... You were telling me that you're a logical person as well, but in those situations... You're not. You're listening to your feelings.
Yes, actually. Good point. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So I can say that I'm a half logically.
Half. You've got the good balance.
Yes, yeah. It's all the balance.
Okay, cool. So, you've not, other than that first surfing experience, you've not had any bad experiences with your surfers and guests?
No, actually. Actually, the first one is also not a scary one. Just a little bit feeling and anxious about it. But no, I meet many people with the Couchsurfing. Sometimes when I travel, I just put the hangout. Okay, I have a time, and if we have a time, we can drink coffee, beer, or fun.
Whatever. Yeah.
And even that way, I have many friends on Couchsurfing. So it's amazing for me. Maybe I'm lucky one. I really don't have any bad experience.
Yeah. Me neither. Just to state that. I've had a lot of funny experiences and a lot of amazing experiences.
Amazing experiences.
And for me personally, I also, I think you can very easily spot if somebody is weird or if somebody's a creep by their profile, also their references. I mean, I've seen some guys who have, one or two negative references where one woman was giving a reference when we were out drinking. He started to be in my space and stuff like that, and I guess then you can just decide, do I want to send a request to this person or would I not? And for me, I'm like, no, I don't want to stay with somebody like that.
And of course.
Usually I find the nice people. And so far it's worked really well on this trip. It's worked amazingly well so far.
But references give so much thought about the people.
Yeah.
So I really care about the reference.
Yeah.
At least I check the references. If they have 5 or more, it's okay. But if they have a 1 or 2, I'm a little bit okay. Is this true person or not?
Sure.
But sometimes also I accepted the 2 or 3 references, and they were also really nice people.
Yeah, and you have to keep in mind that everybody has to start with 0.
Yes.
So sometimes
it's true.
You started with 0, I started with 0 references, and you have to give people a chance, I think. But I have to mention that obviously there's no sort of affiliation or any sort of sponsoring with Couchsurfing. We just both really like it, and that's why we're talking about it on the podcast.
Actually, I want to one thing. When I'm in Ukraine, I used the Couchsurfing as a guest, and I just sent the request really 2 or 3 references, because I know that some Couchsurfing who has many references don't accept it. Yeah. But some people really want to be host or guest, so I choose to that way. So that's when I travel.
That's an advanced trick, actually.
Yes.
That, if people out there want to use it, you can look for the people with less references because they're less busy, and the likelihood is bigger that they can host you.
I remember my first time that I used Couchsurfing. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm all waiting to request. Okay, come on guys, come in here and we just hanging out. I'm really excited about it. I still love it. I still have that excited, but it's different. Yeah. Of course, it's different.
I have so many amazing memories already with Couchsurfing. The first one was just insane. It was this guy living in Long Beach, California, and he was a tattoo artist and at the same time a yoga teacher.
Wow.
And I just slept like on the floor basically, where during the day he was giving people tattoos. And then at night he just put the table away and I just slept there. And I also joined him for a yoga lesson. Super nice guy. I'm not gonna get into the not legal details.
Maybe after.
Maybe after. People can imagine. It was California. Anyways.
Memorize.
Is there anything else we should mention about Couchsurfing?
I don't know.
I think we can move on to your other volunteering experiences.
Let's go.
You did a huge thing when you were 18?
Yes.
Right after high school?
Yes. First year of the university.
First year of university. Tell us about it.
Okay. It all starts with the AIESEC. AIESEC is making a program for you so you can go to abroad and volunteering as an English teacher or any kind of things. And also AIESEC find a local host. You can stay with them, which is really amazing to me. So in the high school, some AIESEC organizers come to my school and there's a project, do you want to join as a student? And I say, okay, it's the first time I meet that the traveling, the languages, there's the other side of the world. And after the project is started, and there are many foreigners. Probably people from all around the world, maybe 20 nationality. And I'm like, oh my God, what is that? This is really my thing. And after I said that when I go to university, I definitely go to abroad and volunteer because I like to help the people. So it's a good mix. You are in the abroad and also you help the people. So when I go to university, immediately I make a profile on the AIESEC site and I sent the application. Mainly I sent the application to Europe. But that time, my English is really bad. I can say that maybe A1. But I said myself, okay, I can go. I have to go. I know my English is not enough. I'm just trying. And all Europe project is rejected to me because of my English. It totally is okay. And I tried the Kyrgyzstan, which is, I'm so happy to choose Kyrgyzstan. It is amazing. So they accepted to me. And the project's theme is I was an English teacher in the orphanage to teach the children basic English things. Okay. So children was between the 5 and 15 years old. And I work 3 different orphanage. Okay. And I stay with the local. There are 10 people and really huge house. And I remember the first day of my host home. I'm like, oh my God, this is happening now. I'm abroad. I am volunteer here. And what should I do? I still remember that happiness. And probably I couldn't feel like that after that experience. Because I don't know, it's my first abroad, it's my first volunteer job, or not job, but project. So still that excitement in my body when I tell the people Kyrgyzstan stories. So
how long was it? Like how long were you there for?
It's not too long. It's 1.5 months maybe.
1.5 months.
Yeah, I just go for the summer holiday. Yeah. But it was amazing. My host, my old Kyrgyz family is amazing. And
how did you communicate with them? Were they able to speak English, or did you?
Just one person know English, which is our age is similar. Just she know the English. The other one, the old one, is know the Russian and Kyrgyz.
Okay.
which is Kyrgyz and Turkish a little bit similar.
Oh, really?
Sometimes we sit in the table with my old host, and we're trying to communicate. It is fun. Sometimes we don't understand each other, but they are also want to listen to me, and I always listen to them. And somehow we communicated,
nice.
and we share many things with them also.
Yeah.
We still have a connection with them.
No apps back then that were able to translate for you. Yeah, but that can also be nice. Something that comes up a lot when people start traveling, when people do volunteering experiences, is that you go out of your comfort zone. This might be a cliche. I don't know. But it's true. I don't know. Was it true for you?
Of course. Because I think that the comfort zone is totally okay, totally beautiful things, but it's not good for your health. I can say that. And when you are quit that comfort zone, you are learning many things. That you feel that scary feeling, you feel that happiness feeling, and after that you can understand more truly. I can say that.
Okay, that you have to explain.
Okay.
Understand what more truly?
For example, am I really have a courage to do things or not? Before the Kyrgyzstan, I'm really scared about that. What should I do? I don't know English. I don't have any experiences. This is true to me, or this is wrong. But after go to Kyrgyzstan and I understand it, okay, this is my thing. This is the traveling, this is the volunteering things is my thing. But before them, I just, I'm not sure about it.
Yeah.
I like it or not.
So you, in other words, if I understand correctly, you learned more about yourself and you met yourself.
Yeah,
during those experiences.
Yeah, I was 18 years old, and it's like mind blown.
Yeah. I think you were relatively early in realizing some of those things. I think
Maybe.
I noticed much later that some things, even though I told you like when I was 15, the World Scout Jamboree was the big gate for me. It took me years to really. I don't think I'm even there yet. That's why I'm still like on the road doing things like that, because I think there's still more to learn about myself.
It should keep going like that.
Yeah, exactly. And like we were saying yesterday, learning, lifelong learning, and always, improving what you know, and there's just so much we don't know. It's gonna
never stop.
Yeah, that's right. You also told me, first, I read a little bit about AIESEC, and I just wanted to tell people that it's not just teaching and education. There's loads of different sort of subjects that you can either volunteer in, or they also have internships.
Yeah, there's two types of program.
Exactly. I guess people may just, if they're interested, check out their websites. I'll also put the link in the show notes. Or is there any other way that...
There's in the internet they can find easily all the information, but if they really searching a new way to knowing world or knowing themselves, they can use AIESEC. It's really good. It's also, I like AIESEC because of the all organizers or all working people is the students.
Yeah,
that is really good things. I have some issues about my volunteering project, but still is amazing. They're all free minds, and they don't need some money to doing that. Yeah. They're just doing it because they want it.
Do you want to explain the issues? You don't have to.
No, I don't want to.
Okay. I don't want. Off record.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Yes, after. Yeah, actually, I volunteer with AIESEC twice time. Oh. Also, I went to Albania.
Okay.
I volunteer as a Summer camp. I was volunteering in the summer camp, and we draw the picture. We swimming with the children, like a basically summer camp.
Yeah.
But it was just 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Short term.
yeah, it's not a common thing.
Yeah. I'm asking because I always think, and maybe this is actually a good way to get into that sort of part of the podcast, that there's also often a lot of criticism about volunteering, and especially that word voluntourism comes up a lot, or has come up over the last years, I don't know, where basically people use volunteering to travel, and they kind of combine a volunteering experience with a touristic experience. And the argument, as far as I have understood it, I read a little bit about it, is that often when you're doing that sort of volunteering, voluntourism, whatever it's called, you may actually cause more harm than you're doing good.
I thought this topic before.
Yeah? What do you think about it?
After my first volunteering project, I didn't aware of anything. I just want to go and do some volunteering things. Yeah. But after back to Turkey, I thought about that. Like I was working in the orphanage, which is really important things. And
important in what way? Like what do you mean?
Because you working in the orphanage, and I think you have to know some things about the children, because that children don't have mother or father, or they have really bad past. So just the one word, it can hurt them.
Sure.
So if you don't have any information about the orphan child, it can be bad for them.
Yeah.
So
So you have to be very, very careful.
Actually, when the project, I don't notice that, but after the project, I just wow, this can be really dangerous for them, because how I can say that, it can be affected for them. And I know also there's some volunteering things in Africa, and people really love to share the children photos. So it is it true or not? I don't know. So that the children don't want to be share their photos in the future.
You don't know.
But the volunteers share it.
Yeah.
And also I share it, but I some of them I delete it after when I starting to think like that. Okay, this is true or not?
Do you remember what happened that you became aware of that? Like, was there any situation that made you like, wow, now I noticed, or was it just a process?
I just read some article.
Okay.
And it sounds so logically to me, and I said, wow, yeah, I didn't thought like that before, and actually it is true. And I'm a teacher. Maybe I know a little bit. That time, the first year of the university, I know how to communicate with the children, but we have the 15 person in the project, which is they are amazing people. But I don't know, maybe they're affected bad way. Maybe I affected the bad way to them. I don't know. So it is really hard topic for me also. I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah.
This volunteering thing, especially with the children, should be continue or not?
Yeah. And how did you know how was it in Turkey that working in an orphanage, was that also through a program, or did you just apply?
I just applied it, but it is more hard to get in.
Okay.
Like,
and this was in Van or in
Edirne, my university.
Okay.
I just want to be volunteer after my Kyrgyzstan experiences in the Turkey. And also my friends also want to do it. And we went to do orphanage, and we said that we are a primary school teacher and we want to be volunteering here. And they say that, okay, we accept the volunteer, but there's some processing. So some kind of CV, some kind of talking.
Yeah.
Okay, why do you want to be volunteer? Why? So it is, what do you want to with the children? Like these things. And after maybe 1 month, they say that, okay, we accepted you and come we are the orphanage and just help their homework. We just doing the homework like a private teacher, but we was a volunteer. And that way is more true, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there's a processing. Like they are trying to knowing you.
And if you're suitable for this sort of job or volunteering experience.
Yes.
I always struggle. I don't want to call it job because it's not really a job, but actually, volunteering sometimes experience, whatever. Yeah.
So that the abroad volunteering things, I think it can be more processing or.
So I guess what an advice could be to people who are thinking about doing something like that might be just do your research and check the organization that you're doing it with, check the orphanage or whatever sort of institution that you're going to volunteer with. Is there a chance that this might be some sort of bad thing, or does everything seem normal and okay? Because that's what I've also read, is especially in, I think, African but also Southeast Asian countries, that some orphanages, they literally take the kids away from their parents. They're not actually real orphans, and they just do it because it's more attractive to Western people. And then they make money through that. And that obviously is a bad thing. So,
and it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
Some place of the world. It's true.
It's true. So I guess just to people out there, just research about it and be sure that this is something verified. And
I think the main thing is that people think about that what they really want. They really want. I want to be talk about special children because this is my occupation and my professional. So if you want to work with the children as a volunteer, please just ask yourself, am I suitable or not? You shouldn't be a teacher or I don't know the other one, but just think about it.
You don't have to be.
Yeah,
you don't have to be a teacher, but you should think about it.
Yes, it can be experienced for you, but they also should think with the children. So I think if you are not with the children things, you can find easily any volunteering things. I guess
there's so many different.
Many.
What did you answer to that question when they asked you in the interview or in that application process? Why do you want to volunteer? What was your answer? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly, but that time I feel I really want to help people. And I said that I'm a teacher and I want to learn new things to children, and here is an orphanage and I need to know them deeply because I'm gonna have many children. I'm gonna have many students. And
you have way too many in Turkish schools.
Yes.
29?
Yes,
How many do you have in your class?
29 now. Yeah, 29. So I need to knowing the children. So the orphan children is really make me more open-minded. You know.
Can you explain how?
Like before the volunteering orphanage, I don't know what is meaning to orphan, what they really feel that. After I started to volunteer there, I feel that what is the meaning of living with the children without the mother and father.
Wow. So I can imagine that's very powerful.
Sometimes it's hard.
And very hard.
I remember some children, and I know some of them history, and it's really affected me. Like, oh my God. He's or she's just 7 years old and she had this kind of story. Wow, it's affected me, and somehow it's changed to my teaching things. It can be more acceptable. I can say that.
So you're more tolerant to some kids' behavior because you understand. They might have some history that you don't even know about. I think that's a very, very important learning to have.
Yeah, it was amazing. Some moments is like wow, okay, this is the true way, this is the wrong way. So it's...
Yeah, because you never know what's going on with people. Like, it doesn't matter if it's your students, if you're a teacher, if it's your colleagues, if it's your boss, if it's your friends. You have no fucking clue what is going on in their life, really. And when somebody meets you with a grumpy face or like an attitude, and by no means I'm doing that perfectly, you know, but I guess sometimes it's just better than responding the same way. When somebody's grumpy, to respond in a grumpy way. Maybe it's better to like take that one moment to think, what might be going on?
He or she have a really bad past. So
or even just a bad day.
Yes.
Or like yesterday, maybe something happened. Yes. There was a fight at home or whatever. Could be anything. And I think, to me, that was like also...
It can be like that.
Yeah.
Because if you don't like... They don't have any problem, it can be problem also for yourself. You can be more judgmental person. Yeah. So just to wait and think about their past. Also, you have a past. Everyone have a past.
That's right.
That's the main thing.
That's super important to filter out. I was talking in one of the podcasts I recorded in Greece, or in the podcast I recorded in Greece, I was with an organization called Medical Volunteers International, and Rezi, who basically was my contact person, because she's also a scout. I met her, or she knows my brothers. Anyways, shout out. And if people want to listen to it, they can listen to that podcast as well. But she said that for them, and she's thought about that a lot. What is her reason for volunteering? And what are the people's reasons for volunteering? And what is the motivation for you to volunteer? And she said something that I found very interesting. I hope I remember it correctly, that you have to really, really ask yourself, is that a good reason for me to volunteer? Is it because I just want to get out and travel and for me, I've had this thought a lot on this trip. Even now maybe I could have tried harder to volunteer somewhere in the earthquake regions. But for me, that was always in the back of my mind. Am I just trying to help to have a better feeling about traveling in Turkey? Or am I actually volunteering because I really want to help and because I really see the suffering? Do you understand? Like, do you get my point?
Yeah.
And that can be, for me, that was a very hard like battle in my mind almost. Where there was
middle
like
of something.
Yeah, there was like two parties fighting in my mind. Like, is it good or is it bad? And sometimes, like you said earlier, you just don't know. And that's something it comes up and up again. I think it's come up in many podcast episodes, that it's very difficult to know if something is good or bad.
It's all about your feeling. Like,
oh shit, I think the battery ran out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It can be more
feeling.
Okay.
Remember what you were gonna say? What were you gonna say?
I'm gonna say that my volunteer experience, why I am a volunteer, I'm really happy that moment. In Turkey and abroad, doesn't matter. I just happy. I also volunteer in the one. I just happy that feeling. When I help the people, I really feel so happy.
Yeah. So it's a win-win situation, really, in that case.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Do you have batteries?
What kind of batteries do you want?
The big ones?
No, sorry.
Okay, then we're just gonna do the rest with the video.
Okay.
I guess. Okay. So from now on, the sound quality is going to be worse. I was afraid this was going to happen. I really should have bought batteries.
No, I don't have.
No worries.
I don't have.
Okay. Yeah. So in that case, it's a win-win situation. If you are helping and it also gives you a good feeling, then that's a win-win situation. But something that has come up in the podcast, I was a guest in a different podcast it came out last week. And Brenda was saying in that podcast that a lot of volunteering experiences are in very, very hard fields. Like, it's not like fun topics often. Like, you've been volunteering in an orphanage. I told you about the lady who is doing hospice care.
It's basically the help.
Yeah. So, do you think it requires a certain, like, I don't know, strength to be able to do it?
What is...
Like a strength of character, like that you have a strong mind and that you don't let things affect you too much? Because I think people who are very, very empathetic, and there's some people who, when they see somebody crying, or even just watching a movie where somebody's crying, they also start crying. And I'm not sure if that sort of person could volunteer in fields like that, or how do you see that? Maybe I'm wrong.
For me, it's really changed to me. Like, before the starting volunteering, I was so emotional person. So I was crying, like everything. But after the volunteering, it's so changed. I'm not an emotional person anymore. I don't know, because of the volunteering, because of my another things in my life, but I can say that I am becoming the more strong person, because you so many story and you understand the world. This is not a big problem. Your problem is not a big problem, so this makes me more stronger, I guess.
That's super interesting. That you became less emotional, and that made you stronger. It's kind of a paradox, isn't it? I don't know. Actually, maybe. I'm not sure. Is it?
I don't know. Maybe.
No. I think maybe those two things can just coexist. You can be less emotional and a stronger person. Yeah, sure.
For me, if we are not emotional, it depends on the thoughts. I don't know. I don't have the answer now. Because the meaning, too much emotions, meaning that you are not a strong person. Some people have emotions, some people don't so much emotions. So it's not a thing that you are strong or not.
Yes.
So for me, what I see myself, I'm not an emotional person. This makes me more stronger. Maybe you are an emotional person, and this makes me more stronger.
Yes, I see your point. Yeah. They don't necessarily go together and correlate those two things. You can be a strong person if you're emotional, or if you're not as emotional. It doesn't really matter. Sure, I see. Okay. Is there anything I forgot? Is there anything that you feel like we should still talk about?
I don't know.
About your volunteering experiences, about working in orphanages in Turkey or in Kyrgyzstan? About AIESEC?
Okay. I don't... Just ask me. I don't know.
No, I'm just... I think it's good.
There is some topic, I guess. But I don't remember it. No.
I'm gonna check if there's anything else I wrote, but I think not. The motivation behind it we talked about.
Yeah, and it's how to start how to know the AIESEC also we talk about.
Yes. Yeah, and we talked about volunteerism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, is there anything that you would do differently? Like about your experiences?
And when I was 18 years old, my first project, my first volunteer experience, I wish I know more things about life.
Okay.
Like, if I know more things at that time, I can also learn more things. If I clear or not, I'm not sure. But
Yes.
I was so small, and that time I don't know many things about life actually. So that time I don't understand some topic, some people's behaviors. So I said that this is normal or not. But now I'm thinking, okay, that behavior is normal. That the topic is normal, and I wish I know more things when I volunteer.
Is there anything that you would tell 18-year-old Melike before she is going to Kyrgyzstan?
Please search more. Please read more. Please trying to understand yourself more.
That's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
I always have 2 final questions.
Okay.
And the first one is, you get to write a letter to any person. Could be in the future, could be a person in the past, could be a present person, could be a fictional person.
Okay.
Who would you send the letter to, and what would you write in it?
Can I send to myself?
Sure.
Okay.
But which self? Future or present or
in
past?
In the future.
Future self.
Future. And I don't know why that age. I always think myself the 35 years old, Melike.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I sometimes I talk now with myself, and I want to say that I hope you achieve your dreams, because you really tried hard, and I think probably when I did that years, everything can be really good for me. I really believe that. Yeah.
I believe it too.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. We will see.
Yeah. Or how do you say?
Şanomay.
Şanomay. Sure, we did an Austrian lesson yesterday. Because people are obviously listening to this in English. Okay, 35-year-old Melike. Interesting. Nice.
I don't know why I choose that age.
Yeah.
But I always think that age.
Okay. That's a good answer. And the second question is a little bit easier, I think. What's your favorite bird?
Yeah, I don't know the English. Can I?
Sure. What's it in Turkish?
I really like saxon.
Saxon.
I like it. It's actually I know the saxon, but I really noticed that in one when I came here. It's really amazing bird. Like, I don't know the English, but
I'm very curious what it's going to be.
When I saw in the streets, I always just focus on them, and because the color, because of the shape, because of they're looking more free and just also cute, but also don't care the people, and I don't know. I just love it.
I think I can guess what it is. It's going to be magpie. Yes, magpie or magpie. I'm actually not even sure how to pronounce it in English. The German word, if you're curious, is Elster.
Elster.
And we know what we say about them in. I don't even know if this is biologically true, but I think it is. They always look for shiny things, and we call them they're thief birds. Because they steal the shiny things, so they might steal your jewelry or something like that. I don't actually know if that's a legend or like a myth or if it's really true. Mm-hmm. How'd you say it again in Turkish?
Saxon.
Saxon.
I love it.
Yeah, I've noticed them today. They are everywhere. Actually, they're all over Turkey.
In here, actually, maybe I didn't notice that before Izmir, Istanbul, and another city. In here, there are many. Yeah. And when I saw the first time, I'm like, wow, what is the bird? I'm not interested in bird. I'm like, wow, this is really good, and this is, I don't know, I want to see more the saxon, that magpie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. No, thank you. Thank you so much. And
I was gonna press on this button, but this is already off, so I'm just gonna press on the phone button.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, this was the podcast episode with Melike about couchsurfing and about her AIESEC experiences. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you learned something, because as you could hear, that's something that we both have in common, is that whole mindset about lifelong learning, that we always want to, improve ourselves through learning, through gaining more experiences. And I think this is also something that is very essential and the essence of the DOF podcast, basically. And I forgot to mention something in the housekeeping notes. You might have noticed that it has been hard for me to keep up with everything. I'm also doing some vlogs. If you want to check those out about my travels, I am daily updating on social media. So I have decided that I will change the rhythm of the Diary of Volunteers on Earth, and I will probably try to publish a podcast every 2 weeks, or maybe do the English version in 1 week and then the German version. I tried with the last podcast about Eckhart with Dennis to do the subtitles. I'm still not finished, so I'm never ever going to do that again, for sure. That's a scout's promise. And yeah, so look out for that, German and English episodes. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much for spending some time with me on this podcast. Again, the quick reminder about our sponsors, Dr. Walter. If you need some travel insurance and health insurance that works internationally, go check them out in the show notes. And also about my own support mechanisms, I was going to say, but that's not the correct word. Anyways, platforms, check those out in the show notes as well. And now, if you have been wondering what a magpie, I still don't know if it's magpie or magpie. I think it's magpie. But this is what it sounds like. So, thank you. Much peace and much love. All the best. Bussis auf eure Bäuche. Jakob.